If you love thrilling mysteries, step into the unknown. Join the hunt, uncover the secrets, and feel the suspense. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and be part of the VeeQuest journey. The storm had been building for hours before Captain Ellis finally decided to change course. The Meridian, a proud wooden ship known for its endurance, creaked and groaned as the ocean raged against it. Waves as tall as houses smashed against the hull, lightning cracked the sky open, and thunder rolled like the roar of some unseen beast. Among the crew was Clara Dawson, a journalist from London whose curiosity often carried her to dangerous places. She wasn't meant for the sea, her hands were made for ink and paper, not ropes and rigging, yet there she stood, soaked to the bone, gripping the rail as the world churned around her. She was on assignment to cover an oceanic exploration that promised adventure and discovery. But tonight, it promised only fear. "Captain," shouted First Mate Hughes over the storm. "The compass is spinning again." Ellis frowned, glancing down at the compass in his trembling hand. The needle whirled uncontrollably, refusing to point north. "This sea's cursed," he muttered. "No land within 50 miles, and the winds are mad." But fate had other plans. Land ahead. A sailor screamed from the crow's nest. Through the veil of rain, a dark silhouette appeared, a jagged outline of cliffs rising from the raging ocean. The island loomed like a sleeping beast, its peaks hidden in thick, swirling fog. Clara's heart pounded. "What is that place?" she asked, her voice nearly lost to the wind. Captain Ellis narrowed his eyes. "It's not on any map I know." The Meridian fought the waves until dawn, finally anchoring in the shadow of the island. The storm passed as quickly as it had arrived. The water, moments ago a violent monster, now lay unnervingly still, a glassy mirror reflecting the island's dark cliffs and tangled forest. The air smelled of salt, moss, and something faintly metallic, like rusted iron. "Prepare to go ashore," the captain ordered. "We'll find fresh water and make repairs." They rowed to the beach in silence. The sand was black, almost like powdered stone, and the jungle beyond was dense, humid, and unwelcoming. Birds cried from somewhere high in the trees, strange cries that didn't sound like any species Clara had ever heard. As they stepped inland, the sunlight dimmed. The trees grew closer together, their roots twisting like serpents, and the air thickened with the scent of rot. They soon found a trail, a narrow stone path half swallowed by time. Moss-covered statues lined its sides. Some were human-shaped, others indescribable, faces eroded, eyes gouged out, mouths frozen in silent screams. Clara paused to sketch one in her notebook. "Who built these?" she whispered. Captain Ellis shook his head. "Whoever they were, they're long gone." The path led them deeper into the island's heart until they reached what looked like the remains of a village. Broken huts, burnt wooden poles, and fire pits filled with ash. Everything was ancient, but the air carried a sense of recent disturbance, as though the island had been waiting for them. Symbols were carved into the stones, spirals, waves, and something resembling eyes. When Clara brushed her fingers over them, they shimmered faintly, glowing for the briefest second before fading back into stone. "Did anyone else see that?" she gasped. But the others were too busy unpacking supplies to notice. As the sun began to set, they built a small camp in the ruins. The jungle, once loud with strange calls, had fallen deathly silent. The crew huddled around the fire, eating in tense quiet. "Captain," Clara said, breaking the silence, "what if this island was never meant to be found?" Ellis met her gaze, his face grim. "Maybe it wasn't. But now that we're here, we'll find out what secrets it's hiding." Night came quickly. Clouds swallowed the stars. The fire crackled, casting long shadows that danced like ghosts. One by one, the crew drifted into uneasy sleep. Clara lay awake, her notebook open beside her. The jungle rustled softly beyond the tents, but something about the sound felt wrong. It wasn't the wind. It was too deliberate. Then she heard it, a faint whisper, like a voice carried on the breeze. Her blood ran cold. "Clara." She sat up, heart pounding. "Who's there?" No answer. Only silence. Then the whisper came again, closer this time. "Leave this place." The fire flickered violently. Clara's eyes darted to the tree line, and there, for a split second, she saw a shape. Tall, thin, featureless. Watching. Then it was gone. By morning, one of the sailors was missing. His bedroll was empty, his tools scattered, and his footprints led into the jungle, straight toward the cliffs. Clara's hands trembled as she wrote in her notebook. Greater than, this island is not deserted. Something here is alive, and it knows we're here. Morning came with heavy mist blanketing the island. The air was damp, every breath tasting of salt and decay. The crew gathered near the cliff's edge where the missing sailor's footprints had ended. Clara's eyes followed the prints until they vanished into a shadowy tunnel carved into the stone. Strange symbols, the same glowing runes they had seen the night before, surrounded the entrance like guardians. Captain Ellis clenched his jaw. We'll go in groups of 3. No one wanders off. But Clara stepped forward. If he's in there, we have to find him. He might still be alive. Ellis hesitated. You shouldn't be here, Miss Dawson. This isn't your fight. Clara met his eyes, determined. I came to uncover the truth. And something tells me it's inside that cave. The air grew colder the deeper they went. The tunnel walls dripped with moisture, and their lanterns flickered weakly. It wasn't just the darkness that pressed against them, it was a presence. The sound of their footsteps seemed to echo too many times, as if unseen figures walked beside them. After a while, the tunnel opened into a vast underground chamber. The light from their lanterns revealed towering stone pillars carved with intricate spirals and symbols. At the center of the room stood an altar made of black stone, surrounded by skeletal remains, hundreds of bones arranged in perfect circles. Clara's breath caught. These are offerings. Hughes knelt beside a skull, brushing off the dust. Human. All of them. Captain Ellis muttered, what kind of people live here? Clara moved closer to the wall carvings. The story unfolded like a nightmare, an ancient tribe who worshipped a god of the deep. The carvings showed humans kneeling before a colossal being rising from the sea, its head crowned with tendrils and its eyes glowing like suns. They called it the sleeper beneath, Clara whispered, translating the runes. They believed it gave them power, but demanded sacrifice in return. Suddenly, the lantern light dimmed, and a low hum filled the chamber. It wasn't a sound so much as a vibration in the air, a deep pulse that resonated inside their bones. The runes along the walls began to glow faintly, one by one, creating a path that led directly to the altar. Captain, Hughes whispered, something's happening. Then the hum grew louder. A shadow stretched across the altar, tall, featureless, moving though no one stood there. Clara felt the temperature drop, her breath misting in the air. And then she saw him, the missing sailor. He stepped into the light slowly, his clothes drenched, his eyes blank and lifeless. His lips moved, whispering words they couldn't understand. Taylor. Ellis said, voice trembling. What happened to you? Taylor's head tilted unnaturally to one side. He raised a shaking arm and pointed toward the altar. Behind him, the darkness moved. It rippled like liquid shadow, forming a vague shape, enormous, unearthly. The air filled with a low, guttural growl that vibrated through their bones. Run! Ellis shouted. They turned and sprinted back through the tunnel as the ground shook violently. Stones fell from the ceiling, and the echo of their footsteps merged with something else, a slithering, crawling sound that followed close behind. By the time they stumbled out into daylight, the jungle was trembling. The birds were gone. The earth beneath their feet pulsed as if alive. Clara gasped for air, clutching her notebook. Whatever they worshipped, it's still here. And we woke it up. Captain Ellis looked back at the dark tunnel. Then God help us all. By the time they reached the shore, the sea was boiling. The ship Meridian, their last hope of escape, was gone. Only broken masts and floating debris remained, drifting like gravestones on the waves. Hughes fell to his knees. It dragged her under, whatever it is, it's alive. The remaining crew stood in silence, the distant rumble of the ocean echoing like thunder. The island was shifting, the ground beneath them subtly rising and falling, like the slow breath of a sleeping creature. We need shelter, Ellis ordered. Move. They stumbled across the beach until they found the ruins of an ancient temple built partly into the cliffs. Its stone walls were covered in carvings, not of worship, but of terror. Images of people fleeing, of fire raining from the sky, and of a massive creature devouring the sea itself. Inside, Clara's lantern illuminated a mural that sent chills down her spine. It showed the same monstrous being she'd seen in the cave, but this time, chains were wrapped around it. An inscription below the mural read, "Greater than, we bound the sleeper. We made this island its prison." Clara's voice trembled as she spoke. It's not just an island, it's a seal. They built this place to trap it. The air grew heavy, thick with energy. The temple walls began to tremble, dust raining down from above. A deep sound, almost like a heartbeat, pulsed through the ground. "Captain," Hughes whispered, eyes wide. "It's waking up." A violent tremor threw them to the floor. Outside, the jungle exploded with movement. Trees bent backward as the earth cracked open. From the cliffs came a deafening roar, not of an animal, but something vast and ancient. The island itself was moving. Clara rushed to the temple's entrance and saw the impossible. The shoreline was rising, the cliffs breaking apart as if peeled from the sea. Beneath the crumbling rock, a colossal form emerged, scales glimmering, tentacles writhing, an enormous eye glowing beneath the waves. "The island, it is the creature," she gasped. Captain Ellis grabbed her arm. "We have to go, now." They ran toward the cliffs, the ground splitting behind them. The ocean frothed violently as the creature stirred. Waves the size of towers crashed against the shore. The sky turned crimson, lightning splitting the clouds. Reaching the highest ridge, Clara turned back one last time. The island's surface had cracked open entirely, revealing a massive glowing eye staring directly at her, intelligent, aware. It blinked slowly, and the sound that followed was a deep, resonating hum that rattled her very soul. The cliff gave way beneath her. She and the captain leapt into the sea as the entire island erupted behind them, a blinding flash lighting up the horizon. Then, silence. When Clara opened her eyes, she was on a rescue ship. Her clothes were torn, her memory fractured. A fisherman told her she'd been found drifting alone on a wooden plank 3 days ago, far from any known land. "The island?" she asked weakly. He frowned. "What island? There's nothing out there. Just open sea." Clara's heart sank. No one would believe her. But as she reached into her pocket, she felt something cold and damp, her notebook. She opened it with shaking hands. On the last page, written in unfamiliar handwriting, were words she did not remember writing. "Greater than, you left, but the island remembers you." She stared out across the endless blue horizon. For a moment, the water shimmered. And then, faintly, she heard it again. A deep, rhythmic hum. Like the heartbeat of something vast, sleeping just beneath the waves.